We really want to work together with nature, because if we as humans don't work together with nature, it usually doesn't work out well for us.
Hey guys, welcome back to Food Overboard, and today we are south of Calgary at Spirit Hills Flower Winery, and this is the owner, Hugo.
I drink this stuff every day. I'm 73.
Oh. What? No!
We're a flower winery as opposed to a grape winery, and the difference between the two in its most fundamental way is that instead of fermenting sweet grape sugars and grape juice, we actually ferment flower nectar.
How long did it take you to get it to a world stage?
Well, we only started exporting 3 years ago, and I look back on what we produce now versus then, because it's been a continuous improvement.
Yeah.
And like even with the barrels, we started off with Hungarian oak, and then we introduced some French, and we continuously play to see how we can, push it another notch up. Now we sell our wines in Canada. We export to Japan and to Europe. In Europe, our wines are served in high-end fine dining restaurants, among them several Michelin restaurants between Brussels and Rome. They just started serving our wines at Restaurant Aroma, which is a Michelin-style restaurant in Rome. It overlooks the Colosseum. It is absolutely spectacular.
So you come from a lineage of winemakers,
winemakers,
right?
Yeah.
French winemakers.
Yeah.
Any?
So there's still the Bonjean vineyards still exist in the center of France. They're close to Clermont-Ferrand. The Puy-de-Dôme is actually the oldest volcano in Europe, and so it's that whole volcanic area around it. And so the cellars actually are cut out in the volcanic rock. So that's what we're planning to do here as well. We're planning to dig 25 feet wide, 9 feet deep over the whole length of the building. The staircase already exists in the building to it, and we're sitting literally on rock. And so we're going to leave the walls a rock, so it actually looks like a cave, and that will allow us down there to age 250 wine barrels.
The moisture content?
No, it's the oak. The oak. You can't beat oak. Like seriously, if you like an unoaked wine, grape wine, it does not have the aroma. It does not have all these flavor compounds that people know a good quality red grape wine from. It comes largely from aging in oak.
It was 23 years, and then 7 years ago you started doing the wine business. Was it hard to get in?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and it's not an easy. We produce a real unique product in the world,
yeah,
which is what the restaurants that serve our wines really like about it. But as a result, it's a continuous process of education, because if you make vodka, people know what vodka is. People have no idea what flower wine is.
Anything you want to tell the people that haven't tried your wine yet?
Everything I just took you on the tour through.
Yeah, that's true.
We can sell it.
We can sell it. Yeah. We want to come from the owner, the pioneer of this.
What we really wanted to do, and what I really like people to try and come out for, is create a wine that has its roots here in Alberta, that can compete on a global scale, and that in terms of character and identity, it screams Alberta all over.
How long can you keep it actually?
More than a month at least.
More than a month?
And that is because of the antioxidants. I drink this stuff every day. I'm 73. That's for all of them. This one had 100 times the antioxidants of red grape wine. Dandy had 120 times the antioxidants of red grape wine, and White Rosé 90 times. And so because of that high antioxidant content, they don't oxidize in 2-3 days like a grape wine does. So from a restaurant point of view, that's one of the things our restaurants love about it, because they won't have any waste on this product. Plus, with quite a few of them, they have multiple use, because they can use them as cocktails. There's the 2-star Michelin restaurant in Belgium, and they use this as a pairing for one of their dishes, but they also make their house cocktail with this. With the flower wines, as part of our export, they've all been tested in fruit labs to the yin-yang. The antioxidants are off the scale. The first time when the results came back, the lab said, we'll redo the test because we think we made a mistake, because the antioxidant content was expressed in grams instead of in milligrams. So on average, they're 100 times higher than your average red grape wine.
What is the biggest challenge that you had in this?
Government bureaucracy.
I think that's everything.
Mostly municipal bureaucracy and red tape. Yeah, it's municipal red tape. That is, and it's not just municipal red tape. I mean, there's some, AGLC. It's just red tape. We moved here 23 years ago because we wanted to raise our kids in an environment where we actually could live off the land. That's why the word vintner, which is used in grape winemaking, is a way better word because it doesn't have that suggestion of producing or making something. It really has much more of that farmer connotation.
Yeah, that is just for you guys.
So we basically feed the entire team with it, so that, and my kids. So that's 10 adults.
That's
and
a lot of food.
it's 10 adults for an entire year.
Yeah.
We don't buy vegetables in the store.
Wow.
And then my sister came in and he's like, well, the whole family and everyone that's attached to it's gonna have to be supported by this eventually.
We have bears, elk, cougars, moose, deer running through the pasture here, but I'm 1 hour from the international airport and half hour from the city. It's unique in the world. You can't find it anywhere else.
Have you found that the land changed over the years?
Out here? No, it hasn't. It's pretty much, still the same. There's been a little bit more development, but nothing that's negative to the land at all.
So the bees, you found that they stayed healthy the same amount?
Our bees are really isolated from other commercial beekeepers. We also have, out here, there's nobody who sprays. We breed our own queens in our own hives. They live in this real pristine environment and they do really well. They tend to be really healthy. We don't move them. They just go stationary to their location and that's where they live. But it comes from the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, and so that terroir is really important to them. The nectar we're after for our wines is the wildflower nectar of the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. We're after quality of nectar, specifically for winemaking. When you actually put bees on ranch lands,
It's a good
it actually increases the protein content of pasture by about 10%. That's what the research says, because they pollinate more clover, and so you get more clover. And clover is very high in protein in pastures. Depending on the time of the year, you can say on average 30,000. In summer it might be 50,000 per hive.
per hive. Wow.
Yeah, I have a lot of women work for me. Got some pigs up and got some meat chickens, and so. The reason we got the pigs is I really want to learn to make prosciutto and shoulder speck and all those, cold cuts. Like we do make our own sausage already. When the soil's warmer, the roots grow quicker. Everything above it grows quicker. This allows me to collapse the 4-month growing season into 3 months. We hunt everything with bow and arrow. And these are all our tomatoes. This actually will gives us every year, this area will give us 250 kilos of tomato. Companion plant for peppers and for tomatoes is actually basil. And what you see is the typical things that really go well together in the food itself.
Grow together.
In the kitchen, they grow together.
Do you guys cook the leaves? Like us Asian cuisines, we cook the leaves.
Really?
Yeah, it's
my favorite.
so good.
Just a little
Saute
bit
with
of
the garlic, some
incredible.
oil, salt, and pepper. Yeah.
Huh.
Usually when they're younger, it's a lot more tender.
Is it?
The older they are, it's a little bit more tougher, a little bit more fibrous. But when they're a little bit more younger, as a sprout, almost not even a sprout, but it's
So your top
top leaves, yeah.
With the shoots, all of it together.
Oh,
with the shoots, so the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, when we harvest, we're going to do that this year. Because
You may not be a chef, but you're a chef at heart. So is there a product that we should be looking forward to in the future?
We do specials that we only sell for wine from the winery and for our wine club members. And the next one we'll probably be bottling, I think in October, is a port style wine that has been in oak barrels for 5.5 years now.
So how do I
It
join
is-
this membership? How do we get in?
It's delicious.
We'll talk.
I used to make a Groot beer, so it's beer without hops. And so I picked all the herbs for that here in the hills, and then we turned that into a beer. And it was absolutely, it's really good. I really probably should.
we'll put it on our video. We'll put it on our post. We're gonna tag him. Hugo, 73-year-old. We found the fountain of youth.
Secret?
The fountain of youth, Spirit Hill Winery.